Subdivision 8613 map. Previous for info.
What?
Subdivision 8613.
Subdivision 86.
I never even touched my computer, it just started doing that.
You're not for They're listening to you, Terry. Yeah.
What the heck was that?
Seven. Okay. 7 o'clock. Call the meeting to order. We acknowledge we are gathered on Treaty 1 and Treaty 2 territories and that Manitoba is located on the treaty territories and ancestral lands of the Anishinaabe, Innuit, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota Oete, Dene Sulene, Ojibwe, Nihitawak. We acknowledge Manitoba is located in the homeland of the Red River Métis. We respect the spirit and intent of treaties and treaty making and remain committed to working in partnership with the First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people in the spirit of truth, reconciliation, and collaboration. Go to the confirmation of the minutes. Be it resolved that the minutes of the July 16th, 2024 regular meeting of council be approved as circulated and posted. Can I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Councilor Ross. Seconded, Councilor Maxwell. Any questions in the minutes? Not? All in favor? Carried. Okay. Item 3, be it resolved that the agenda be adopted as presented with the approved additions, Spruce Woods Community Club Seniors Grant Support, and the Brandon Boarding Kennel Complaint. There were late additions, so I'll have a mover.
I'll make that motion.
Councilor Ross, Councilor Brohan seconds it. Does anybody have any questions? No question, I'll call for the question. All in favor? Carried. Hmm. 7:05. Thank you. Okay, we've got the public hearing at 7:05 and it's 7:02. Why don't we go down to communications if everybody is okay with it? Be it resolved that the council accept the communications as presented. There's a whole pile of them, so if I have a mover for it, yeah, Councilor Brown moves it. Councilor Maxwell seconds it. Yeah. Anybody have any questions? A lot of reading there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some good information on training.
On what?
It's training, the
Yeah.
AMM's offering some good training.
Yeah. And everybody's seen the second last one? The notice of appeal. So, yeah, good communications there. Okay, anybody else have any questions, inquiries? Okay, I'll call for the question. All in favor? Carried. Okay, so seven is communication is complete. Now, we got 2 minutes. Can we go to? What can we rattle off here? Why don't we go to 5, report of committees? Does anybody have?
I'll do a quick
Yep.
review of the transportation
Yep.
committee that was held in July. I'm just gonna call that there for July 25th, we had a transportation committee here with everyone in attendance. To start with, we received the tender for the building, and we looked at that. There was only one tender that met the qualification. That will come up tonight. Then we looked at some public works activities. Graveling at the time, 90% complete in Ward 1, Ward 2 is 75%. I guess it's all done now. Secondly, we looked at dust control. And the only thing to complete was Chater and 66th Street, so I'm guessing they.
Chater's complete.
Okay.
Yeah, did a good job.
Planning on getting in there the next week after that meeting, so. Roadside mowing, there was a discussion on that. Again, everybody knows that was our first year doing our own. And the first pass had been completed in Ward 2 at the time, and Ward 1 was to be complete the following week. And I know Shane has committed to giving us the hours. I don't know what's in that, but I'm sure he'll have them for us. So what it took to do that. There was an issue of a speed limit change on Brown Road, which I know has been completed because we received a comment on it. Some talk about dust control and maybe for next year, looking at reviewing the map on an annual basis to make sure we get everything we want completed because we kind of allocated all of our dollars, even though there was maybe a little more work we wanted to do. So we'll possibly have to spend a little more. Discussions on some drainage concerns in Chater. There was some, and there was some discussion about the heavy water this year and how it probably was showing up more in all areas. Some more additional issues in Chater. There was a stop sign issue. I'm assuming it was fixed up. Need for additional gravel, some speeding issues in town. And we talked about Marsden Road. They were planning to start the second week of August, so I'm guessing if they haven't, they're late, but I haven't heard any more. Terry, you
I was there yesterday. There's been no activity yet.
Except for line locates, I believe. I've seen some flags there. That's
Okay,
my
all right.
understanding.
Well, they'll have to-
Yeah, so,
And I know they met out there with Burns.
okay.
And, I knew that he met out there with him because he said that was a bit back. Discussion on Cody Drive and what we hope to do now and in the future to correct some drainage problems there. We discussed the low-level crossing of Friesens,
Yeah,
right? And Shane was gonna check with them. I haven't heard anything more on that.
yeah, Lex email or text me on Saturday, sent me some pictures. I'm gonna forward it to Ollie, do photos. He's cut the grass so he can go in there and get some elevation shots.
Okay. Good. Discussion on long-term plan for Silky Way, and what we're looking at there is once the homes are built, there'll be, plans to pave them, so that'll be set up in the future. We also discussed some other drainage.
Just really did a hearing.
issues, and, I plan to put together a list. And I'll quickly whip through the rest of it. Some signage, clean up trees around some signs, the bridge for DFA, that'll be discussed tonight. A couple of road projects that need to be done for safety's sake, and hopefully they'll be discussed tonight. And our weed spraying everything was complete except Grand Valley in Ward 1, and we were assured that advertising had been done ahead of time. And that was our transportation committee.
Thanks, Councilor Nacho. Okay,
It's a motion to accept.
I'll have a move, be it resolved that the verbal reports of committees be received.
I have a
as
report.
presented. Did you have a utility meeting?
Well,
Good.
we met on July 23rd with Castle,
I'm sorry, go
the
ahead.
engineer, and municipality out in Shader, and did a walkthrough of the work that left outstanding, and there's a number of cleanups that Castle has been doing to rectify the mess that they made last year. So
I'm sorry about that, Councilor Lassa. And just to add, my understanding is seeing the guys working out there, Castle, I believe he told me the last time I talked to him, 20 out of the 30 locations have been excavated, not seeded yet, but they've been soil conditioned.
Yeah.
Mhm. Did you have a police committee? No. Bob, no, sorry about that. Anyways, that's it. I'll have a mover to accept the verbal reports of the committees. Yep, Councilor Brown, Councilor Drohan seconds it. Yeah, any other questions? I'll call for the question. All in favor? Yep, carried. Yep, great. Okay, now back up and go to the public hearing. Okay, 4.1.1. I'll read the requirements. The purpose of this public hearing is to receive representation from the applicant and from the persons who wish to make them concerning. We will first hear from the applicant and then from those present who wish to make representation, starting with anyone who wants to speak in favor of the proposal. At the end of the other presentations, the applicant will have an opportunity to respond. If in the response the applicant supplies new information or raises new issues, then the other ones will be given an opportunity to speak again. At the end of the presentation, the members of council may ask for clarification from the speaker and the fact or issue, but will not enter into a debate. Persons speaking must address the chair. If they have questions that they think the applicant should answer, they should raise them in their presentation to the chair. The applicant will have an opportunity to respond to questions when the other presentations are finished. This is also not the time to ask questions to members of council. Under the Planning Act, the purpose of the public hearing is for council to receive representations, and a discussion or argument involving members of council is inappropriate. So I'll have a motion to go in public hearing. Councilor Brown moves to go into public hearing. Councilor Ross seconds it. Any questions? All in favor? Carried. We're now in the public hearing. Is the applicant here? No, he's not. So is there anybody here that wants to speak in favor of the application that's in front of us? Is there anybody here that wants to speak in opposition of the application that's in front of us? And we don't have a representative from the Keystone Planning Board here to explain, so would you mind explaining to CEO what this application is about for the audience?
It's like we've already
It-
passed the subdivision.
subdivision, but
And part of the conditions was that this
Public
go through a public hearing for conditional use for a non-farm dwelling in an Ag 80 zone.
so if there's nobody in the audience that wants to speak in favor or in opposition, I'll ask for a motion to close the public hearing. Councillor Brown moves, seconded, Councillor Maxwell. Okay, call for the question, all in favor? Okay, public hearing is closed at 7:12. Did you record when I? Oh, yeah, good, thanks. I'll wait. Just giving Holly a chance to catch up here. Ready? Okay. Okay. So we've got time. My computer's going wonky here. Okay. So what do you want me to go next, Holly?
Why don't we deal with the members?
What's that?
Why don't we deal with
Yeah, I just want to make sure. Okay. Call for the RCMP personnel to come up and introduce yourself.
Oh, see, I didn't know that they were coming.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure you guys were coming today.
We've got the report.
Were you scheduled?
We're here.
Oh,
Pretty sure we were. been a
I know
while.
you asked me the dates and I said the next couple of dates. So, yeah.
Well, there you go.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, Staff Sergeant Mechanic, Brandon Carson, who else is down the hill? Corporal Jacob Stanton, same detachment, Brandon here. Sorry, it's been a while since you've been here, guys, because I'll put that on me, but I had a little communication issue with some of the CAOs who are going through this place. So what we're gonna do today is like we normally do. Jake will run through the stats for you, which I think look fairly good. There's a couple things he wants to talk about. And after that, I'll discuss the HR issues. HR is going to be in camera if you can. We don't like to discuss that in the public forum. We don't know you know how many we are and where we're going to be. So just know that we're out there everywhere all the time. Yeah. Okay. So like Clint said, I'm just going to run through some of the statistics for the first quarter of 2024 here. Kind of just compared to the first quarter of 2020 because it's just the best thing to go off of to see where we're at year to year. And I'll just kind of go through the categories and maybe touch on a few of the more individual things that matter to our area here. So just talking about, traffic accidents, we have a lot of traffic throughout the RM and our whole area. And this year, actually, doing okay RM wise. We're 3 less accidents, I guess, for the year so far, and I think that has something to do with probably ever changing laws, and then also the visibility and our guys being out there doing their job. So, and then the next thing is again, kind of segues right into that. Is traffic offenses, kind of provincial traffic offenses that are enforced by us. And this ranges all the way from, your classic intersection related offenses, stop signs, things like that. Speeding is a big one, obviously. A new thing that was kind of introduced in the last couple of years are the roadside suspensions are becoming a little more prevalent with regards to drinking and driving. Say there's probably a pretty good mix. You'll see less impaired criminal code charges for impaired driving because we have the immediate roadside prohibition, which is provincial legislation that kind of deals with it a little more expeditiously and doesn't bog down the courts and those loopholes that a lot of people like to take advantage of and whatnot and drag things over the courts are eliminated through that process. So really overall, we're right on pace with the same we were last year, 105. So overall, we had about reported 143 reports. This doesn't necessarily include proactive calls, and ultimately 105 of those were dealt with by charge, and then 19 of those were dealt with in whether it be a written warning or another way. So, so yeah, like we're up by 14 from last quarter or last year's quarter. So kind of right in the same ballpark, 143 total. We had one operation while prohibited, which is a criminal offense to be driving while they're prohibited from doing so criminally. So we had one of those in the area or in the RM here. Impaireds were one less than last year, but like I said, some of those are dealt with through the provincial way. So we're down. We had two in the first quarter that were dealt with by charge. So, and again, that's pretty standard, I would say, and those numbers are pretty good. Our guys are out there. We got a few members that are very well versed in the proactive interdiction work of tracking down drunk drivers and keeping them off the road and keeping the road safe. So that's good. We also have noticed, though, on the flip side, that the public hasn't been as receptive to the police this quarter as compared to last year. We've had a few more flight from police officers, just not stopping and whatnot. And some of those have been on motorcycles. So easy to kind of conceal whether they're registered or not, tough to see the plate, and it becomes too dangerous to continue pursuing someone on a motorcycle going crazy speeds and stuff like that. So I know that's an issue that we've had, and that's been in Brandon as well. So that's been up there, and in addition to that, we've had two charges of resisting obstructing police officers, so it's kind of resisting arrest or whatever the case may be, and one instance of assaulting a police officer, and those are all up from last year. We didn't have any of those in the first quarter last year, so it's a little bit concerning, but it kind of ebbs and flows, and I think it's probably has to do with the climate we're in and things like that, and lots of different factors there. Fortunately, our mental health act calls, the ones that tie us up for hours and hours and hours, sometimes days, sometimes weeks, waiting at hospitals and whatnot for people to be seen. Those are down this quarter by 6 actually from last year. So that's good because it takes up a lot of our time and a lot of our resources that could be better spent out the RM doing the stuff we want to be doing. So 911 calls are another thing that take up a lot of our time. Those we have to attend, right? And those are down by 3 from last year's first quarter. And we had several, a few more written warnings. Our members out there engaging motorists and just kind of more educationally in the RM. We had 13, which is 5 more than last year. Which is good. We like to be out there one way or the other. It doesn't always have to result in a charge or anything like that. It's beneficial to be educational too. And we have thefts. Again, these are property crimes. I don't know. Obviously, the vast majority of them are going to be rural in the RM here. So those are about on par with last year. The same sort of rural property crime that's occurring, but they're not very high, which is good. So they're not we aren't seeing a big spike in those or anything like that, which is always a concern. We've had some fraud calls, and the scams are alive and well. They seem to be getting more creative all the time with telephone scams and things like that, scamming the elderly and taking advantage of them, taking their money, and that affects everybody everywhere. I know it doesn't seem like much, but some people lose a lot of money to those, and they do take up a lot of our time investigationally. We can spend months working on one of those into a dead end, right? So those are up a little bit, but and those keep us tied to our desks, unfortunately. We've had a couple of break and enters, pretty much on par, same as last year. And again, false alarms are always something we like to bring up. We're the same as last year's first quarter. It's taking up a lot of our time. And, if we're driving out over God's Green or to go to a false alarm because someone didn't know how to punch their alarm code in properly, or they left the balloons hanging up in the office or whatever that set off the motion, they take up a lot of time. They can be better used doing other stuff. But anyways, overall, I would say things are actually looking a little better this year. And Clint will talk a little bit more about the HR thing and probably shed some light there. And are there any questions? Sorry, kind of burning through that, but
Yeah, it's an area in Eagle Cornwallis where, like Jacob says, ebb and flow, but we're fairly steady all the time. So there's no real trends of like, oh my gosh, we gotta watch out for this. It's all pretty steady. And most of our things like the break and the thefts aren't local people, generally speaking. It's people passing through. So if they are local, they get dealt with in a hurry. But most of them are transient. So.
yeah, we don't have any real prolific offenders or anything in the area that are a problem or a headache currently. They come and go, but as you know, and I'm sure you deal with as well, like a lot of it's runoff from the city and back and forth being surrounding the city. It's we kind of get to deal with everything that kind of goes in and out, and but overall, I think it's decent. So if there's no questions, I guess so
You guys want to go into camera then, if there's no other
Yeah.
questions? Yeah, we can go next door, leave the folks sitting here.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll just go next door. What? Yeah.
Most places do. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can.
what's that?
We can.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll
We
move
can
to
make a
go
motion.
camera.
make a motion to go into
Second.
camera with the RCMP personnel, and Councilor Ross seconds it. All in favor? Yeah, okay, we'll go into camera, folks. We'll be right back.
Hey, David.
That's what these guys said. They said HR.
True.
Oh, I see. That's what.
I've had 3 days at university and I drove for 10 hours, or 12 hours yesterday. And basically got up to 7 different things and sales. That's right. Yeah,
There's always that. Well, but you didn't want the parking lot. Yeah. Yeah. Service.
I don't know. I don't think so.
No. How much is the conference? It was good.
Only game.
The food. No,
Oh.
they have the second annual.
Well, there's only one way to clarify that.
This guy ran it.
True.
No, they were still.
Oh, really? Yeah, a couple of days ago. I know.
You take a collection.
One of the older sons. 8 months older than me, so he's 42 right now. Pretty sure so. And his wife and my father's popped up. I'm like, we can go over here like at 8 or something. He's like, no, it's too late. I was like, really? Holy. That's funny.
Hey. You just did it now. Can you tell you what the dog did? He washed the kitchen floor and I got this message. I guess because she has a small coffee. I guess he left his cup in the counter. And he went to the bathroom. I heard this bang. His coffee is all over the floor, all over the French wash floor, so I had to wash the cup. Didn't get it. He did it all. Actually did really well. And he said, when we were heading in, he says, when we hit that part of the highway, we call him fire can make you there. It was so nice to come in and just love barbecue. He's like, yes, I'm he did fabulous. And then he came out upstairs. Well, he told me it's going to be good. I said, I don't know. I said, I have phones. So where's our house there? One of the things that the kids are doing is. Well, you know, I signed up for it. So I'm responsible for everything. I understand. No, that has to kids. It's hard. Yeah, we have to separate them. Sometimes it's just.
Oh, okay. It was okay. Yeah, I don't know if they're go work facility basically. The rates are crazy. Incredible for 21 person.
I asked you.
I mean, it's still multi.
You had a few moments. I'm sure.
And then they have like beers and really have emerging.
She's another shoe, her shoe.
They have a whole concept in the river office. That's nice.
Then I said, "Did
That makes sense. That's all we can see.
do it for dinner?"
We're tying into existing infrastructure. There's no strong, so why are you charging me full rates? Because there's a discounted rate. for my system. There's 9,000. It just makes no
Yeah,
sense.
he's learning, he's learning.
Well, 9,000 versus 50. It's 12 for you go to horse and
So
you're like,
yeah, practice.
yeah, it's pretty stupid.
It's
It's hard to, like,
5 minutes and then she's like,
And also, like, we're almost at the corner.
Exactly.
$8 a square foot.
and she'll wait about half an hour and then she'll try it again,
That's
just in
enough.
case
So
you
you go in the square foot shop, you got the 80
And
percent.
she does, and then she's.
Or you go to the Armacor Mall, so you have the you pay nothing. And you get one side.
It's their house.
Just-
No. She ate the ball in the bed.
It's in the back. I jumped like
Yeah.
on front, so
Higher
it's
on the
like,
side. She does this little nibble
the crane guys was here, they were complaining.
and she puts holes.
Directing.
So she did that to go upstairs.
I'd be the
And
same.
the one
Just the
downstairs,
opposite.
but these are $100 beds. And she's, yeah.
Well, I think it's,
Industrial.
And maybe she tries to get it, but she pulls it out, she
For
does
sure.
that pool.
oh, I think
I mean, I can't even remember.
if the development community is gonna go to the city. Like,
Going down to
It is a-
there isn't, there's no comment there anymore. It's kind of crazy.
And you look at Tinker, I'm like, I don't know.
He's weird. I met with him last week. Hey? Like, yeah, he's
Oh, yeah. Well, in this business with her, I think she's ready for him. His rock climbing she does is weird, but the table leaps. And she can crazy with hands. I said, honest to God, the way she flies, and she slides and she's startled. So I'm thinking, well, what kind of competition can we put her in? And, she's a good sentinel because her nose gets her in some trouble. She go across the lake and I can see this one coming her lake, and I'm really shocking her in the water.
so what happened? You don't know the guy.
Yeah, she's like, so hot.
I mean, they want
Oh, tonight I looked at, she had a little rush vest on earlier, so I took it off and it's my feelings. I'm thinking temporary, but I guess she must have hit something during the, it's a little barber plant. There's like a little quirky in it, and it actually have to hurt. So I removed it. But she had three of them, like a big bird. I don't know that. But that's why I'm thinking she'll get part of her. It's against them, she stops and still.
for sure.
Well, they hurt. This one doesn't feel pain. So when I
So
said,
do we have a big number?
that's probably the one.
Do they have a big number?
Yeah, they should, they too.
She did that. Yeah.
I would hope so. Because there's
Frosted.
like that one night, or after 2 months, separate. I said, I could reach halfway. I said, maybe we work together. And I said, she's not going to be able to anymore. She's worried about her local. Oh, it's just turn around. Oh, yeah. And her nose is grabbing. Like she's going to have her own head. It's just going to be cereal.
Yeah, 'cause even,
And those paws. She got really good. And she comes in. Maybe nervous. Those are the family photos.
they must have talked to like.
Pretty face. He said she was right on that bed pushing him. Oh, yeah. And she stretches.
And then
And
the
she
other
does
one,
this.
yeah,
It just started off facing away from you. And then she does this twist thing. And then she's right there. Yeah. So she was like, it's
was it correct? Yeah.
like a video.
So it's a service.
It's just. It's a good deal. And I'm thinking, because these are being a competition. We have that. It's got factors all that on. So it brings good memories for him too, right? I'm gonna try it. Oh.
So tell us as a closet wrap and the fiber's full. So what could be interesting? Or is there some that like will just have holes that big enough for? We should be able to finish.
Yeah.
Let's get it on here.
Yeah. Are we good?
Thanks, guys.
Yep, thanks, Chris. Okay, I'll ask for a motion to come out of camera. Council Brown,
Oh, okay.
Council Ross seconds it? Yep. Okay, any questions? All in favor? Okay, we're on the camera. Now I guess we'll have a motion to receive the verbal report from the RCMP. Yep, Councilor Brohan moves it. Council Ross seconds it. Any questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay. Now we'll go up to delegation. So we're running a little bit late. Mr. Keller, can you come to the? Yeah.
Chris Hatch,
Yeah.
General Manager,
Yeah.
everybody else has joined us well.
Yeah.
So
10 minutes to start of the delegation.
10 minutes, that's it?
Yeah, well, we try to keep it to 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, so we're here, I guess, just to kind of bring forward our concerns about the grant funds from the province. We applied for the grant through Donna back in, it was January 11th of 2019. We followed up with our provincial counterparts, at the time it was Cliff Cullen, and ensured that we got approved. So we did get approved through that process. And obviously through the development agreement, the RM has sort of become the middleman, which has made this whole process very difficult because we can't get answers. The MTI is not very forthcoming and the RM is not very forthcoming. So we went around you guys. We got a letter directly from the Minister of Transportation Infrastructure, and they've informed us that as of, I believe it's letter dated July 10th, the RM was going to be transferred 90% of the grant, $309,000 and $309,330 within a 30-day period. I don't know if you guys received a copy of that, but I'll pass it around so you guys can see. So I just wanted to be clear, I guess, that the grant money was intended to cover our construction purposes. Those are costs that we incurred. To me, it's explicitly clear that MTI is satisfied to the point that they've advanced 90% of the grant towards work within the right of way. So that's the on-highway improvements and the service road. If they weren't happy, they wouldn't have advanced the money. For any of the things that aren't finished, they've held back 10%. So from my perspective, the RM has no claim, $0 claim against the grant funds. The grant funds are to be passed directly to me immediately. And I'm hoping there was legal consultation behind the scenes, but ultimately if there was, I think there's some misguidance happening. And my lawyer maybe needs to speak to the RM's lawyer and they can clear this up. This is not being cleared up within this office. Okay, so in addition to that, we are the last 10%. I have an email here dated from August 15th from Denise Jubenville. RF Now has completed their fiber line relocate. TELUS has installed their conduit and vaults, and we are still waiting on fiber to be installed from TELUS. So we are still not able to complete the work. We have emails dating back to 2019 from MTI in regards to these fiber lines. This has no bearing on us as a company, on our affiliate companies. This is 100% an MTI issue. So that 10% that's being held up is being held up because of MTI. And I'm happy to circulate this as well, if you guys care to see. So I just wanted to get that part of the way first. The grant funding is for work on the service road and the pavement. It is not for work within the RM's part of the development. The two are not linked. The funds should not be crossed over or grabbed for purposes. And MTI, from my perspective, is the ultimate decision maker on how much funds should be advanced to me via the RM. There's a deficiency list. So the deficiency list is prepared by Burns Mandel, which we appreciate. All of the deficiencies have been addressed except one. And unfortunately, we had somebody steal a truck or our packer and smashed up a culvert. And so there's an impending investigation, and we're hoping that MPI comes to the table and pays for the replacement of that culvert. Every other item in this photo has been addressed outside of the fiber. Now, having said that, half of these items are within the RM's service road. These are not on the MTI service road. Half of them are within. So this report and the budget and dollars and cents of it are crossing the two things over. So you've got the service road and the pavement, and you've got the internal hoop, which is the RM of Cornwallis's. There's both things on this report. And so you guys are proposing a holdback, which you shouldn't be able to do. That has to do with two separate things. MTI is already holding back money for their component. So just so we're all clear. We've addressed everything other than the one thing that we can. Having said that, we have 2 years. We received the partial substantial completion document. I believe the development agreement says we have 2 years. There is going to be more erosion. There's going to be other culverts ran over. There's going to be other utilities digging out there between now and then. And we will address them as soon as we possibly can, the minute you guys let us know, as we did in this situation. It was a wet spring. You can see in all of these photos in this report. I'm assuming you guys overviewed this report. We couldn't work out there. It was impossible. So, which is what we've done every time we can. And so the last thing we're really waiting on is this fiber line. So the last thing is the bond. The bond explicitly says in the bond document, which I provided to the RM, which was provided originally, that this bond stays in effect in perpetuity while I am faithfully at the table working on development. So unless I disappear, this thing is fully enforceable. The only limitation on this is there's 2 years pending the substantial completion date. So whether or not this triggers a substantial completion date, because it does say partial substantial completion or partial completion, I don't know. But if it does, then you guys have 2 years from May 28th to have me remedy any concerns or issues. This thing remains fully enforceable. And the only way you would engage this is by saying that I defaulted and didn't fix something. So again, I don't know why you would hold back any funds, not one penny, when this exists. So I guess I'm just a little bit frustrated. There's been emails back and forth. The timelines on the emails are awful. Again, that's not, it's not a shot. I understand things are crazy around here, and there's obviously an interim CEO, and there's lots of mess to clean up. I get that. But the process thus far has been awful. We feel like we're doing our part. If anybody has any concerns, you call me, I fix it, we fix it. Chris is on site every other day. I think he's been very responsive to anybody that's asked. We've graded the road several times in between here just to keep up with it, make sure it's good. You guys, from what I understand, haven't had to do anything out there. So yeah, having said all that, I'm hoping you guys will reconsider, release all of the proceeds that you've received from MTI, understanding that they have their 10% still held back, understanding that you guys have a bond in place, which will remain in place. And if there's something we're not doing, please call me and we'll fix it. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Keller and Mr. Hatch?
Very well.
I guess, sorry, the last thing. Section 17 of the development agreement. It does highlight a number of conditions as to which the bond can be released. I guess from my perspective, MTI has made it clear that they are releasing a proportionate amount, and obviously they are 90% satisfied with these conditions. Personally, I don't see the need to amend the development agreement. I'm sure that between the lawyers, they could figure out some other way of doing it without a full amendment and the process and all the extra money associated with that. That's just my opinion. If my lawyer is more than happy to correspond with the RMs and work something out, we're not fighting, but just, it's a matter of interpretation from my perspective, and without conversation, the interpretation from the RM's lawyer is a little bit too conservative if that's truly what's being relayed. There's no risk to the RM.
Okay, nobody has a question for Mr. Keller? I'll have a motion to receive the verbal delegation.
I'll make that motion.
Yeah, Councillor Ross, seconder, Councillor Brown. Anybody any questions? All in favor? Carried. Thanks a lot, folks. Yeah, we'll get the CEO to get back to you at earliest convenience.
We're on the agenda for later. Is there something gonna happen related to that?
You're on the agenda for what?
Yeah, 10.1, it's on again.
Just give me a second. Yeah, it's just memos from the CEO.
So there'll be no decisions made today?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
there's no.
Then we will carry
Yeah,
on.
we'll get back to you folks and the CEO, so.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Have a good evening. Okay. So we are at 7. RCMP delegation. Petitions, communications we've done. Number 8, accounts and financing. Be it resolved, Councilor Brown. Be it resolved that the payroll accounts be approved for payments as follows. Direct deposit payroll of July the 25th, 2024, $11,618.56. Direct deposit payroll of August the 8th, 2024, $12,294.39 for a grand total of $23,912.95. Can I have a move? Councillor Grohan moves it. Seconder, Councillor Maxwell. Anybody have any questions? Call for the question. All in favor? Carried. Can you get that, Councillor, please? Thank you. Okay, next one. Be it resolved that council approve the list of account for expenses for checks numbered 12172 to 12254 for a total amount of $966,392.35. And be it further resolved that council approve the June council indemnities and expenses for a total amount of $4,544.98, and the July council indemnities and expenses for a total amount of $4,183.03. Can I have a move?
I'll make that motion.
Councillor Ross, Councillor Brown seconds it. Anybody have any questions? I mean, just for the audience, there's a couple of big bills there, a couple of large paving contracts that we tendered out, and some gravel. So a lot of that is, most of it is transportation, so. Okay, just a comment there. I'll call for the question. All in favor? Carried. Okay. 8.3, be it resolved that the unaudited financials for the month of July 2024 be accepted as presented. Can I have a mover? Councillor Drohan? Councillor Maxwell seconds it. Anybody got any questions? Call for the question. All in favor? Yep. Carried.
Are you liking the summary?
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. Really good there. Yep. We'll wait for you there, Shane. Don't rush.
Where's the garbage? Gone.
All that?
Isn't there a little black one here somewhere?
Yeah, it's way down behind the podium there.
I'll get it for you. Want it up there? Oh, okay. I'll take you.
Okay, Ready? Okay, be it resolved that the July 2024 bank reconciliation for the general reserves and utility accounts be accepted as presented. Can I have a mover? Councillor Ross? Councillor Drohan seconds it. Anybody got any questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay. Whereas the 2024 budgeted road project seal coating Patricia and Jerome, total cost of $379,563.10, plus the two unbudgeted road project Richmond and 34th, cost of approximately $50,000, exceeds the strategic infrastructure building fund grant of $350,234. Therefore, be it resolved that council authorizes a transfer of $79,779.28 from the road reconstruction reserve or gas tax reserve to cover road reconstruction costs incurred. Can I have a mover?
I'll move that. You
Yeah.
have to pick one of the two, I'm guessing. I would, the road reconstruction, there's a fair amount of money in there. I would move that we take it from there rather than the gas tax, because if we take that out of the gas tax, we'll have to explain it more clearly, right? But that's my move, that it come out of the road reconstruction reserve.
So you want it to come out of the road reconstruction?
Yes.
Okay, so
That's my motion, so.
yeah, that's your motion. Yeah, that's fine. That's why I read it out like that.
Yeah.
So Council Maxwell moves that it comes from the road reconstruction reserve.
I'll second it.
From what?
I'll second it.
And Councilor Drohan seconds it. Okay? Anybody?
So, yeah, that's my logic is that.
Yep.
We're pulling money for
Yep.
seal coating, and I'm just not sure if that fits into the scheme of gas tax.
That's a good idea.
As opposed to a full pay
Yep.
job.
That's, okay.
Well, the one thing about road reconstruction wouldn't qualify with gas tax.
Yep.
Because it's reconstruction.
Yeah. right.
Yep. Okay, so anybody else? Call for the question. All in favor? Carried. Okay, that one's out of the way. Just give me a second. Okay, we're gonna, 10.1, there's no decision there. We'll go to 10.2. Be it resolved that the recommendation of the Transportation Committee, council accept the municipal offer renovation tender bid from Struth Construction in the amount of $64,700 for labor-only construction of the front wall per the drawings and list of materials provided. Can I have a mover? Councillor Drohan. Councillor Brown seconds it. Anybody got any questions? Yeah, I see construction's already started, so yeah, call for the question. All in favor? Yeah, carried. Okay. 10.3, whereas Public Works has identified two priority safety issues, road projects totaling approximately $50,000 that will need to occur this year. Richmond Avenue between 113 West and 114 West, 300 meters repair, and 34th Street between 54 North and 55 North, 200 meters repair. And whereas the Transportation Committee has reviewed these projects and recommends completing, therefore be it resolved that the projects be approved with the funds borne by the 2024 Rural Strategic Infrastructure Grant. Can I have a move?
I'll move that.
Councillor Maxwell.
From the Transportation Committee.
Yeah, Councillor Drohan seconds it. You reviewed it. So anybody else got any?
I have a question, with it being a boundary road, is there any type of agreement that exists with the city of Brandon for 34th Street?
34th.
It-
It's not a boundary?
No.
No, it's south of.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha,
South.
okay, gotcha.
And these two projects are the same ones we just spoke about earlier.
Yeah.
In the
So it's
Transportation
just-
Committee. Yep.
It's not additional to
Yeah.
that.
Safety issues. Yeah, okay. Nobody else has a question? Call for the question. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Okay, 10.3, be it resolved that the hold on any action regarding Lake Clemente continue for now until the province schedules a meeting to review their options for a permanent solution for the resident at the Lake Clemente per Deputy Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure correspondence dated August the 6th, 2024. Further resolved that if we do receive options from the province in the next month, we review the hold at the next meeting following that meeting. Can I have a mover? Councilor Maxwell. I have a seconder, Councilor Brown. Anybody got any questions?
Yeah, like I wasn't really sure.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say next meeting because in all likelihood, is probably the following meeting. So,
Yeah, as soon as we get something, we'll communicate it out. Yeah, I'll call for the question. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Okay, 10.5. Just for information, I think the CEO put a real nice summary together, so we'll just study that a little bit, and then we'll get back at a committee meeting and review that. 10.6, be it resolved that the council requests an additional extension to September 30, 2025 for the DFA claim on the 2022 spring flood event due to site number 2 bridge design and construction schedule delays. Can I have a move? Yep, Councilor Brown, Councilor Maxwell. Anybody got any questions? I'm not sure. I'll just make a comment here. I have received a couple of phone calls from the person that has the contract for Canada Post, and that bridge is causing issues. She's having to go the extra mile. I said, it's out of our control. Yeah, so there's not much we can do. It's in the designer's hands, and wish we could speed it up. But anyway, that's just to give council a heads up.
Yeah, there's talk of possible winter work on it.
That's what we heard,
Yeah,
but
so,
no, didn't say what winter though.
no.
Okay, I'll call for the question. All in favor? Yep, carried. Okay. Again, just information, the appeal for 10.7. Now, we are into 11.1. Whereas the applicant and landowner Gary Donna of the property legally described as Southwest 230919 51011 PTH 10 roll number 49500 Rural Municipality of Cornwallis has applied for approval of a conditional use order under Part 5, Table 5-2 of the Cornwallis zoning bylaw number 1664-03-2016 as amended in order to allow for a non-farm dwelling in the Ag 80 zone by way of subdivision. And whereas council held a public hearing in favor or in opposition of the application, therefore be it resolved that after careful consideration of the application and any representations made for or against, council approves the said application, conditional use 008-24-C. Can I have a move? Councilor Brown, Councilor Maxwell seconds it. Anybody have any questions? Call for the question. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Whereas Avi and Nancy O'Neill, owner of Lot B, Plan 2435, PT Southwest 360919W, have applied for the Keystone Planning District for a second dwelling within the Ag 80 zone. Be it resolved that council hereby approves or denies the request. So whoever moves it can pick and choose. Are you going to approve it or deny it?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Approved, Councillor Brown, so it's approving, and I'll have a seconder. Councillor Maxwell. Okay, anybody got any questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay. 11.3, be it resolved that per clause 2B or I of the Cornwallis Noise Bylaw 156405 2000, council authorizes Can-Fire pyrotechnics for fireworks at the Earl event at the Glenlee Golf Course on August the 24th, 2024. Can I have a move? Councillor Brown, Councillor Drohan. Anybody any questions? All in favor? Carried. I'll have free access to that for my backyard. Okay. 11.4, be it resolved that financial assistant Kayla Porter be hereby authorized to attend the online municipal accounting course, part of the municipal administration certificate, starting September the 9th, 2024, with the approved registration expense of $800. Can I have a mover?
I'll make that motion.
Councillor Ross, Councillor Maxwell seconds it. Anybody any questions? Call for the question. All in favor? Carry. Okay, next one's a long one. Whereas Rail Safety Week is to be held across Canada from September the 23rd to September the 29th, 2024. Whereas 229 railway crossing and trespassing incidents occurred, 229 rail crossing and trespassing incidents occurred in Canada in 2023, resulting in 66 avoidable fatalities and 39 avoidable serious injuries. Whereas educating and informing the public about rail safety will reduce the number of avoidable fatalities and injuries caused by incident involving trains and citizens. And whereas Operation Lifesaver is a public-private partnership whose aim is to work with the public, rail industry, governments, police services, media, and others to raise all safety awareness. Whereas CN, the Operation Lifesaver, have requested Cornwallis Council adopt this resolution in support of its ongoing efforts to raise awareness, save lives, and prevent injuries in communities, including our municipality. Therefore, be it resolved that Council supports Rail Safety Week and efforts to raise rail safety awareness. Can I have a mover? Councillor Rohan, seconder, Councillor Maxwell. Any questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay. 11.6, be it resolved that the recommendation of the Personnel Committee, Council accept a proposal from the interim CEO to become an employee with the agreed upon terms, details in the employment agreement. Can I have a mover? Councillor Maxwell moves it. Councillor Rohan seconds it. Anybody, any questions? All in favor? No. Carried. Okay. Be it resolved that Council approve SLI Towers KPD application for an 83 meter. What's that? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. My mistake. Sorry. Be it resolved that per the recommendation of the Personnel Committee, the municipality advertise for an office finance clerical position. Councillor Maxwell, Councillor Rohan. Anybody get any questions? All in favor? No. Okay, good catch there. Sorry for that. Okay, 11.8. Be it resolved that Council approve SLI Towers KPD application for the 83 guided style wireless radio communications tower at 59081 Marsden Road that will provide a more reliable wire cellular service in the RM of Cornwallis. Can I have a mover? Councillor Brown moves it. Seconder, Councillor Grohan. Anybody, any question? Call for the question. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Okay, now this is the added item. Whereas the Sprucewood Community Club is applying for a New Horizons Seniors Program grant for recommended water well upgrades to the Spruce Woods Community Hall. Therefore, be it resolved that we hereby agree to the grant application in support of community club's effort. Can I have a mover? Councillor Ross, Councillor Grohan seconds it. Any questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay. No, we don't have anything there. 11.1, that's the, it came in late and we were able to add it. It was a written complaint about the noise, so we need an action item, so it's on record. The individual called me and he did say he'd like to have it on public record, so. Can we have a motion to authorize the CAO and the constable to deal with this complaint? Yeah. And get back to the person that filed
Would
it?
you like the motion?
Yeah.
Rather than just accept it, you want to?
Yeah, to motion to authorize the CEO and the constable. Great. Councilor Maxwell, Councilor Brown. Good. Okay, anybody any questions?
Just a comment
Yep.
on it. Now, I believe they had come a few years back with the same situation. I think it's the same.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, there is an issue.
Yeah, that's a good point, Councilor Brown, because that's one of the reasons he said he wants to put it on record. Then at least we've got some record and we'll get back to him so he can, next council, if there's an issue, he can say, hey, yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, that's great. I'll call for the question. All in favor? Carried. I'm going too fast for you. It's a new resolution, so. Just let me know.
I
Yep,
think
okay.
I'm good.
Okay, any inquiries? Any council member, excuse me, have any inquiries? Okay, if there's none, we'll.
I just have one inquiry
Yep,
too.
yep.
The last meeting we had in July, we brought up that I was sent to an AMM, a non-AMM sponsored event that was approved by council previously and approved by the CAO before. And was, wanted to make it clear that that was an approved event that the council all voted on afterwards and was approved beforehand to go to that event to the AMM and service the golf course. So that was the only point I had.
So what's the inquiry about, like this?
Just to clarify
Like,
that, the
clarify.
last inquiry from the last meeting, just to clarify how that exactly worked out.
So you're saying that you had authorization before you went to that? Or after?
Both
So there was a resolution passed to,
after.
no, before you attended.
CAO said it was within our indemnity and our bylaws to attend a meeting like that. Also, as part of the Western District and an informational thing.
Okay, that's right.
I just want to clarify that so that
Yeah.
it's clear for everybody that heard that last time. So
Okay. Anybody else has any inquiry?
I'm sorry, I missed who moved the response to that complaint.
Councillor, yeah, second.
Brown moved it, seconded by,
Councilor Maxwell.
thanks.
Yeah, he did.
That doesn't matter. We did.
It was Maxwell and Brown, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Just so it's on the record. Yeah. Okay. Okay, if there's no more inquiries, I'll have a motion to go in camera. Yeah. I'll read it over. Be it, Be it resolved that in accordance to the Municipal Act, Section 152, council do hereby close the meeting to the public and move in camera at 8:12 PM to discuss various matters of personnel, a matter that is preliminary stages in respecting with discussion of the public could prejudice the municipality's ability to carry out its activities or negotiations, the conduct of existing and anticipated legal proceedings, the conduct of an investigation under and enforcement of an act or bylaw, the security of documents or premises, a report of the ombudsman received by the head of council, and be therefore resolved that council agree to keep in confidence all matters discussed at this closed session. Can I have a move? I think you'll, yeah. Councilor Drohan moves. Seconded Councilor Maxwell. Okay, all in favor? Okay, we'll go in camera. Okay. I guess we got a list of things here. I guess we better bring the computer.
That's just part of them. I'm going to end the stream then.
Okay.
Yeah.